Hey guys, a lot of these bottles are starting to pop up on shelves, some pretty high price tags. A lot of them over $100. And I know sometimes it can be kind of difficult, is it worth that $100 price tag? Well, today I want to talk about bottles that are worth that $100 or more price tag. Roll that intro. All right, so you walk into your liquor store, you're looking at that top shelf. Everybody wants the sexy bottle, the allocated bottle. You want something good. You're gonna put it in your mouth. You want it to at least taste good, right? So I know there's a lot of companies out there, a lot of distilleries, whatever you want to call them, depending if they're blenders, if they're sourcing, if they're making their own whiskey. And everybody's got a fat price tag on their allocated product, right? And all you want to know as a consumer is it worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is the money going someplace that you won't completely regret? I mean, chances are you're going to have some type of buyer's remorse at some point or another, but regardless, these are 7 bottles that, right? So yeah, I got 7 bottles here, 7 that I think are worth that $100 plus price tag. I will fully disclose the bottles that are worth it. There's a lot fewer of them than there are $100+ bottles sitting on the shelf. Just my opinion. And this is in no particular order. But I guess we'll start with the first one is Old Louisville. Most of these bottles, at least most of the ones I've seen, are over the $100 range. However, of the one that I own so I've tried 2 others and they've all been exceptional. These bad boys will blow up your skirt 110%. They are absolutely fantastic. The blends, the whiskey, everything coming out of Old Louisville, as far as what I have seen, has been absolutely phenomenal. I've had the maple cask finish, I've had a wheated, and then this is a 9-year straight bourbon that is amazing. Nothing short of fantastic. I want to go back in time and punch myself in the face for not buying a second bottle of this because it is absolutely fantastic. So I'm sitting here and I'm just, I'm babying it because I know finding another one of these is going to be incredibly difficult. This was a club pick, which makes it also even more so unobtainium. But Old Louisville, if you see one of these sitting on the shelf and you're balking a little bit because it might be like $120, $125, just pull the trigger. You're not going to regret it, guys. I promise you. The next one, Mayor Pingree. Any of the blue or black labels. If you're paying more than $100 for a red or an orange label, maybe reevaluate some choices. But the blue or the black labels are absolutely fantastic, especially when they come with a double-digit age statement. If it's 9 years, okay, whatever. This one obviously is a 10-year. I think I paid a little over $100 for this one. This was a single barrel pick from a Holiday Market, a store near where I live. But these are absolutely, absolutely amazing. The difference between the blue and the black label, blue labels are single barrels, the black labels are blends. I know at one point MGP was sourcing some of their whiskey. At MGP, sorry, it is still early. Valentine's was sourcing some of their whiskey from MGP, right? That is not the case anymore. Unless this is lying, which is produced and bottled in Michigan. Anyways, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Absolutely amazing. I know this one isn't open, but I have had some of this particular barrel and it's real, real good. It is really good. It is your classical bourbon notes just cranked up to a 10. And Valentine's is doing a lot of really cool stuff with some of their special releases. This 11-year rye back here is theirs that was aged in a gin barrel, which is just so unique and different. Can't say enough good things about the Valentine guys. So yeah, grab a Mayor Pingree if you see a blue or a black label. Don't think about it, just do it. You won't regret it. Okay. Next up, out of High Bank Distilling, this is the Whiskey War Cigar Cask. And this one is actually a single barrel store pick from Harper Liquorland. Shout out to Sam. This is a blend of straight whiskeys finished in Brazilian Ambarana barrels. So I know some people just aren't fans of Ambarana finishes because they don't like having a whiskey that tastes like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. This one doesn't do that. It does have some tropical notes. There's like a pina colada vibe kind of going on here with some cinnamon, not like red hot cinnamon that's like super smack you in the face, but like a baking cinnamon, like a nice cinnamon. And this one was a little pricey for, you know, what I would normally pay for a store pick, but I am so glad that I did. These are absolutely fantastic. You know, 119 proof, super transparent. It's not sourced. It comes from High Bank. Really, really good. I think this was the only single barrel pick that hit Michigan of the Cigar Cask. And it might have been the only High Bank pick in Michigan last year or for 2024. Not really sure. But yeah, if you guys see these, take the chance, grab one up. You won't be sorry. They're really, really good. They're doing some really cool things, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes into Michigan next year from these guys. I've heard their double oak is really good as well. Next up, this is the Hoot & Young Jack Carr 16 year. This is a light whiskey. Yes, it's 99% corn, 1% malted barley. It is sourced from MGP. Hoot & Young is a non-distilling producer. Okay, now that we got all that out of the way, you guys can go ahead and spam me for throwing, you know, oh, it's just another sourced MGP product. I don't care. It's fantastic. It is for me, a slightly oaky butterscotch bomb. Any type of high age statement MGP, I don't care if it's a bourbon, a rye, a light whiskey, I don't care. It's good. MGP has figured out how to make a damn good whiskey over the last few years here. And by the last few years, I mean, you know, like 3 or 4 decades since they purchased the plant from Seagram's. Okay. They're doing really, really good stuff here at Hoot & Young. I don't know if you guys can see, I think it's out of frame, but I have a few bottles. I have a backup of this one. This one was my birthday present to myself because I believe it was $175. And that was a couple of years ago that I bought this one. And I bought a backup because I liked it so much. I go to it sparingly. This one's about halfway gone. But it's, you know, Jack Carr, obviously he's an author, like a Tom Clancy type guy. He was a Navy SEAL for 16 years. I believe that's why 16-year age statement. You can see on the logo there, at least I hope, you know, you got the hatchets, which are kind of synonymous with the Navy SEALs. Super cool backstory behind this distillery. Super cool story behind this bottle. The whiskey inside it is absolutely delicious. I share it with people whenever they ask about it because, I mean, that's what whiskey's for, right? So if you guys have the opportunity to buy one of these or even their 15-year single barrels, very, very good stuff. Very good. Highly recommend. Next up, and I'm going to get some spam for this one, and I don't care. Weller Foolproof Single Barrel Picks. I know the MSRP is like $60 on these things, $70 on these bottles. The single barrel picks tend to go for a lot more. But I pay over $100 for one of these all day long. This is another Harper Liquorland pick. This is last year's pick, I believe. This year's pick was unbelievably good. But this one is really, really nice. Really enjoyed it. I mean, look at the color on it. It's very, very dark. If you have a chance to get a Weller Foolproof pick for around $100 to $150, I mean, do it. I know that it's pricey and I know that it's like double MSRP, but it really is fantastic. And say what you will about the allocation and Buffalo Trace and the whole RNDC debacle and just all of it. Buffalo Trace has figured out how to make a damn good whiskey. They just have. Okay. And this is, in my opinion, the pinnacle of what they put out. I've not had a Pappy 23, but I've heard it's very oaky. I've not had any of the higher age statement Van Winkles, but I have had most of the Weller lineups, save for the CYPB, which I've heard is like not great. I think this is as good as it gets. That or even sometimes a well-crafted 107 single barrel pick. But yeah, would definitely pay over $100 for this any day of the week without hesitation. Okay, let's get 2 more. The next one, this is this year's Murray Hill Club special release from Joseph Magnus. And this is finished in Calvados casks. And Nancy Fraley, if those of you who don't know who Nancy the Nose Fraley is, you know, crack a book or something or go online. Jesus. She's one of the best blenders in the business. She has an absolutely amazing palate. This is fantastic. I haven't drank a ton of it yet just because I just haven't gotten to it, but it pairs really well with a cigar. Surprisingly, the cigar didn't like overpower any of like those pear notes, but this is just a really, really rich, decadent kind of bourbon for me. It has a lot of like those softer fruit notes that they actually hold up really well. And I enjoy this bottle a lot. When I was able to find one on the shelf, I made sure I grabbed it because I missed out on batch 3. And I wanted to make sure that didn't happen again. These are really, really good. I would take one of these over a Magnus cigar blend any day. Personally, I think the cigar blends have gotten a little not great, I guess is the nice way of putting it. These last few batches, the one that I have is like a batch 54. The early batches are just chef's kiss, fantastic, really, really good. Now they're becoming unobtainium. Early batches on the secondary market are still pulling a very high price. Some of these more recent batches, I don't know if the age in the blend has gone down or what's going on with it. They just, for me, haven't been as good. But this one here, muy delicioso, would definitely recommend grabbing up. Okay. And then number 7, our last one. This, and I mean, most of you are not going to be able to buy one of these, but this is a Highline Spirits single barrel hand selected rye. So the way that Highline is doing this right now is they're a local blending house or non-distilling producer, whatever you want to call them, here in Michigan out of Plymouth. And they will invite some of their customers, patrons, whatever, to come in and do some tastings and help them kind of pick the barrels for the blend. This rye was a little over $100, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best ryes I've ever had, in my opinion. Yes, I believe some of the whiskey is sourced from a place that rhymes with Schmembp, but it doesn't matter, guys. It's good. If it's good, it's good. It doesn't necessarily matter where it came from. You know, some of you purists out there are going to be like, oh, well, you know, there's people putting out 4 and 5 years that I think are better than MGP because they're a craft distiller. And you're allowed to have that opinion. I mean, more power to you, dude. I'm balls deep in that idea. But this is a really, really good blend. Just because it's coming from a bigger distributor like MGP does not mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean that it's overpriced. It doesn't mean any of those things. Good is good. Okay. Taste is relative. Taste is subjective. What I like might not be what you like. And I like this one. I think it's great. We had a really good time at the tasting room. If you guys ever have a chance, stop by the Plymouth or the Dexter tasting rooms. I know there is now a bourbon single barrel select that is out that I need to stop by the tasting room and go get. But this is fantastic. So if you guys are ever in Michigan, specifically around the Plymouth area, or, you know, Dexter's kind of out of the way, but if you're ever in those areas, by all means, you should be stopping here and having a flight, maybe grab a bottle or two. They're doing some really cool stuff. I love their approach to blending where they get the input of their customers. And that's, yeah, I can't say enough good things about them. The master distiller, Christy, I think is her name. I'm sorry, I was a little inebriated when we met. So if I get your name wrong, I apologize. But she was really, really nice. You know, she called me out right away for being a whiskey geek because I was, you know, rolling my Glencairn. But we had a really good time. We plan to go back. And if you see one of these sitting on the shelf, I know Total Wine in Michigan has their American whiskey that is, I believe that's right around $100 as well. That one's really good too. This is the one that I have, and this is the one that I prefer. But the American whiskey blend was also very, very good. So maybe give that one a shot. But that's it, guys. That's really all I have to say about bottles over $100. Drink what you like, but don't overpay for it. But that said, I'm going to shut up now. And if you guys are still here, please hit that like button, drop a comment down below, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your coworkers. More content on the way. We're going to try and up our game a little bit more in 2025. I've already upgraded some of the lighting down here in the speakeasy. Hopefully we'll be upgrading some of the camera equipment as well. But yeah, be on the lookout for more cool stuff and more adventures in 2025. Yeah, cheers. We'll see you next time.